Welcome to Live Interactive English. Hello, everyone. I am Mike.
And I am Nina.
She is. We are not AI. She's actually there.
Know.
She's I'm a robot and AI.
Okay.
Yes, we're talking about AI, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Yes. Today we're doing day 2 of Is AI in the classroom helpful or harmful?
Yeah, is it good or bad? And yesterday we had a very good kind of look at this interesting and complicated topic. AI in the classroom can be great. It can help students do their work a lot faster, cut corners on their research, not in a bad way, but you don't have to spend hours on the internet or in a library looking for information. AI can go off and do it for you, but is that totally good for students, especially who are supposed to be learning as they do this work?
I don't know. So far, we've learned that it can be quite harmful in many ways. Teachers say that people are not really using their mind or building skills that they need when they use AI. And there's also the problem of inequality.
Yes.
And some people say it's cheating, right?
Yeah, it's a form of cheating. If you know the answers, either because you got the answers from somewhere or AI gave you the answers, it's kind of the same thing. It could definitely be considered cheating, but for me, more importantly, you're just not learning anything, right? If you're given everything and you don't have to work for it or think about it or do anything to get the good results, well, you're not actually getting much out of it.
Yeah.
It's sort of like waking up and taking a pill and suddenly you have muscles and you're strong, but you didn't actually do the work. So your body won't actually be strong. It might just look strong. You might look like you've learned something, look like you studied, or look like you're smart, but you won't actually be. So, it's very interesting. Let's have a look at day 2, find out what else we have to consider. I told everyone this is a complicated topic or complicated issue, and I'm for sure we're going to be learning many other interesting things about the good and bad of AI in the classroom.
Okay.
At the same time as AI becomes more common, schools face new challenges. Teachers often struggle to tell whether students used AI or wrote something themselves. Since AI is widespread and hard to ban, many schools are adapting by designing new types of assignments. For example, they may require in-class writing, oral presentations, or creative projects that are harder to complete with AI alone. While some experts warn against AI in education, others see opportunities. They argue that because AI is here to stay, schools should teach students how to use it responsibly. All right, so is AI in the classroom helpful or harmful? We're getting into day 2 today. I think from the end of day 1, most of the teachers that we were reading about, their opinions in day 1 were saying it's not really helpful. It's probably more harmful. I mean, it's helpful in helping the students save time and do less work, but it's harmful because they're students, they're in school to learn, and they're not really doing much learning.
Indeed.
So that is definitely a very good point of view to think about carefully. But there are other ideas and other issues, so let's get into it. It says, at the same time, so with everything we learned yesterday, that's all very true. But at the same time, as AI becomes more common, schools face new challenges.
Okay, so it's not just the students that might be going through these new experiences with AI helping or harming them, but also the teachers too.
Yeah, and this is of course true because AI is new technology. We haven't really used it that long, so it's hard to kind of make rules and know exactly where it's good, where it's bad, where it should be allowed, and where it should be not allowed. And as it says, teachers often struggle to tell whether students used AI or wrote something themselves. When we were talking about writing those summaries, writing essays, doing things like that, the writing can look very natural, like someone wrote it. The students can print it out or hand it in on a disk or a USB or however they give it to the teacher. And in that computer form or print it out, the teachers can't really tell if the student actually wrote this and did the work, or if the student just used AI and then went off and played, video games while the computer was doing the homework for them. It's hard for the teachers to see the difference.
That's definitely a challenge, especially if you know how you can have AI make things sound more natural, or you can use different AI tools to rephrase what AI did for you. Right, continuing, since AI is widespread and hard to ban, many schools are adapting by designing new types of assignments. Okay, so they're adapting, meaning to change to fit new conditions, especially if most people can easily access AI and have them do work for them. There might be a situation where we have to adapt, right? Maybe you can use AI to a certain degree, or I wonder how teachers will actually make AI usable for students but not harm their learning. Okay, another sentence for adapt is animals must adapt to changes in their environment to survive.
Someone who's really good at adapting for us is Hanny, but she always adapts in the best way for students of English.
Okay.Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny， 今天要继续来探讨 AI 在课堂上是助力还是阻力。课文提到，随着 AI 越来越普遍，老师们经常难以分辨学生是使用 AI 还是靠自己写的。那现在有许多学校正在透过设计新类型的作业来适应这样的趋势。好，单字 adapt 这个动词表示适应、调试。这时候是不及物用，常常会接 to 加名词。而这边有个重点是 whether or 可以表达是什么或是什么，可以连接名词子句，引出不同的选择或可能性。例如I wonder whether she's a dog person or a cat person. 我想知道她喜欢狗还是喜欢猫。那么名词子句在这边就是当受词用。一个延伸学习是 whether or 也可以用来引导让不副词子句表达无论什么或什么。像 whether it's sunny or rainy, the event will take place as scheduled. 无论是晴天或雨天，活动将会如期举行。好，接回到课文中。
All right, let's get back to our article. We were just learning about how some teachers are now adapting the kind of work they ask the students to do so they can't use AI. I mean, this is kind of the same as putting your phone away before the test so you can't pull your phone out and start looking for answers on the internet. So how are they going to have to change things to make sure that AI isn't doing the work for the students? Well, it says, for example, some of the things they can do. For example, they may require in-class writing, oral presentations, or creative projects that are harder to complete with AI alone. So that writing essay that you used to do at home, maybe using the internet or books in a library to work on, now you can do it with AI. So you're not going to do that writing at home. You're going to do it in class. Or maybe you'll have to do your presentation as a speech, which nobody wants to do because the AI can't do the thinking and the talking for you. You actually have to do that. Or these creative projects as well. You can't get AI to do that kind of thing when you have to make something or something like that. What is a presentation? Presentation is something that you would have to do. You can't get AI to do it because a presentation is like a speech. You're standing up in front of people. You have an audience. You might have a lovely assistant or your co-presenter and you're speaking and you're talking and I'm telling you things and she's telling you other interesting things. We might have pictures to point at or examples, models, to give out to people. They can touch, they can feel, they can watch, they can listen, they can ask questions, but you're doing it live in front of an audience like a speech. For example, we have a group presentation next Friday for history class. class. And so, yeah, maybe the AI could help you do the research for your history project, but you would actually have to do the presentation yourself.
Yeah.
So I guess that's good for students to still learn in some ways.
Yeah, I feel like also AI is very much needed when you are working.
Okay.
Especially nowadays, companies will encourage you to use it. So let's see how much students should actually be allowed to use it or if they should learn more about it. So while some experts warn against AI in education, others see opportunities. They argue that because AI is here to stay, schools should teach students how to use it responsibly. Okay, so that I agree with because it is definitely a tool that will be used when they start working. At least I would say a good majority of jobs will encourage you to use AI. So it's good to know how to use it and use it to its full potential. However, it's good to know how to use it responsibly and when to use it, when not to use it. And I'm guessing obviously when you have a project at school, that's a time for you to not use it.
That's a good point. Yeah, cars are very useful, but we're not teaching kids how to drive cars. We have to wait for them to get older and more responsible. And then it's a good time later on, but maybe not all the time for all students.
So they should have maybe a specific class for it, right?
Sure.
So they warn against it. Warn is to tell someone about danger or a problem before it happens, right? So they were warning about the possible, complications with AI. For example, the sign warns against swimming in the river. Ooh, because you might drown, right?
Right. They're giving you a notice of possible danger. Yeah, something you might want to avoid. You know who we don't want to avoid? Hanny, because she's always got great stuff to teach us.
Okay.
刚刚说许多学校在设计新类型的作业，例如他们可能要求课堂写作、口头报告，或者是光靠 AI 难以完成的创意专案。虽然有些专家警告不要在教育中使用 AI， 但是有些人则是看到了机会。他们认为，既然 AI 已经被广泛使用了，那学校应该要教导学生如何负责任的使用。好，来看单字 presentation 这个名词就表示报告、陈述。文中用到 oral presentation 就是表达口头报告。下一个单字 warn。动词它表示警告、告诫，后面可以接 against 加上名词或动名词来表达警告什么什么的危险，警告不要做某事。那这边有一个重点是 here to stay， 这是表达普遍为人所接受、广泛流行，它常常用事物当主词。字面上呢是看起来像是表达会停留在此，那是用来指该事物它已经被众人接受，会长期持续存在，不会消失。举例来说 ，Electric cars have their drawbacks。But they're here to stay. 电动车有其缺点，但已广为被大众接受，不会消失了。好，接华课文中。
Thank you, Hanny. Now let's go to the second part of the article after we take this break.
For instance, students might use AI to gather ideas or find research materials, but then rely on their own skills to finish the work. This way, they practice critical thinking and being creative while still learning how to work with AI. More schools are now creating rules about when and how AI can be used. The challenge is finding the right balance, helping students learn essential skills while also preparing them for a future with AI. So, what do you think? Should schools allow AI in the classroom, or does it cause more harm than good? If you are a student, how do you use AI in your learning?
Okay, welcome back. We were talking about how students will use AI and they should maybe learn to use it responsibly, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It is definitely part of the world we live in. And yes, in your job, as you were saying, you might need to use it. But does that mean that all students should be using it as freely as they want. Well, some people would say it is a good skill to learn. It says next in our article, for instance, students might use AI to gather ideas or find research materials, but then rely on their own skills to finish the work. So kind of like using the AI as a Google search or looking for information on Wikipedia, or like people used to do research in libraries and find the information, get the books out, and then use the important and interesting things from those books, but actually do the writing, the homework, the presentation by themselves. Just use AI to do research for them. And yes, we have this word research or research, as some people would say. It's both a noun and a verb. When you are finding out more information or the information that you have found out, hey, look, I've done some research on a holiday in Italy I want to take. Now I have lots of hotels, lots of places to go, lots of things to see. I've found all this information. Now I have to kind of start picking and choosing what I want to do. But that information you have collected or gathered, that is your research. And gathering that information, we would use the verb form. I researched this, and this is what I found. This is my research. For example, I want to do more research before I make a decision. In other words, I want more information before I decide.
Okay, this way they practice critical thinking and being creative while still learning how to work with AI.
And still saving some time.
Yeah, so you're just saving the time because you're able to get the research or information directly with a click of a button or, you know, just going through AI to get this information, but then maybe writing the article yourself, right? So critical means something very important, or if you are critical, it means you're saying what is wrong. For example, learning to ask critical questions is an important skill. So learning to ask important questions is an important skill.
Ah, okay. Let's go over to Hanny and check out what she has to tell us today.
那么学生该如何负责任地使用 AI 呢？举例来说，可以使用 AI 来搜集想法，或者是呢去寻找研究资料，接着靠自己的能力来完成作业。这样一来，学生就能一边练习批判性思考和创造力，一边学习如何跟 AI 合作。好，单字 research 它可以当名词或动词，表达研究调查。当名词的时候，注意它是不可数名词。Critical 这个形容词则是形容批判性的，或者是形容像艺术、文学、电影等等，它是评论性的。好，文中用到 critical thinking 就是表达批判性思考。介绍课文中。
Okay, so it's early days for AI and how we're using it, both at work and at school. But already people are taking action. It says more schools are now creating rules about when and how AI can be used. In the same way that, 10, 15 years ago, they had to make rules about how smartphones can be used in the classroom, right?
Yeah.
Using it in a test is cheating. They're now making the same kinds of rules about AI to, understand that it is part of the world today, but letting students use it all the time, anytime, in any way might not be the best thing. So they have to find a way to sort of get through that and make some rules about what is okay and what is not okay.
Indeed, I feel like it's definitely needed nowadays,
and also
right?
It's interesting because AI is getting smarter and smarter and doing more and more things. So some of those rules might be changing in the near future too.
That's true. The challenge is finding the right balance, helping students learn essential skills while also preparing them for a future with AI. Yeah, so you have to obviously be able to do your own thinking and your own research or whatever it is that you need to do for your homework and your projects, but also you have to be prepared for how to be able to use AI for the future, right?
Yeah, it's
so
true.
not affecting your learning progress.
Right, but we can't pretend that AI isn't a thing. We can't go back in time. We have to deal with it because it is part of our world. So what do you think? You guys have your own opinions about this. Don't use AI to come up with an opinion about this. You can do that thinking on your own. For example, answer a question or even just think about a question like this. Should schools allow AI in the classroom, or does it cause more harm than good? That's the topic what we've been looking at.
Yeah.
Of course, you've learned a lot about that by reading this. And here's another one. If you are a student, how do you use AI in your learning, or how do you think you might be using it in the future with your learning and your homework and your test preparation? Lots of things to think about there. And of course, this issue will be with us and will be changing in the future. But you know who will never change? Hanny. She'll always be wonderful. So let's go say hi to her.
All right.
看了这2天的课文，你觉得学校应该允许在课堂上使用 AI 吗？还是你觉得它弊大于利呢？如果你是学生，你要如何在学习中使用 AI 呢？那我们最后来看一个文法重点是 cause more harm than good， 是表达弊多于利。动词 cause 也可以用 do 来代换。举例来说， Do you think that social media causes more harm than good？ 你认为社群媒体弊多于利吗？好，一个延伸学习是 more A than B， 可以表达比较是 A 而非 B， 与其说是 B， 不如说是 A。例如 The sauce was more salty than spicy， 那个酱比较咸而不是辣。好，那这回课文中。
Okay, now we have a what do you think question. Mike, do you think AI should be included in students' education?
Gosh, that's a tough question. Well, I mean, right at the beginning, I would say it has to be. It has to be included in students' education. It's like not including the internet or computers. It's part of our world.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, maybe later on, maybe senior high school, college students can use it to do their more complicated work. But I would hate to see kids in elementary school using AI to answer their simple math questions. That's when you learn a lot of really important information, and you learn the things that you will use in all sorts of parts of your life in the future when you're younger. But I think for older kids, as we get them ready to go out there and get jobs and live in the real world, I think we have to. But, maybe for the older, more advanced students, once they really learn the basic important stuff that everyone needs to know.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like schools need to learn to adapt and help make sure that AI is used properly while students are learning.
Without hurting their actual learning process.
Exactly.
For sure. What about you guys? Have a think about that. It's going to affect your lives in many very real ways. Anyways, for now, we're going to review the article one more time, and we will see you guys back here very, very soon. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and don't rely on AI too much. And we'll see you back here soon. Bye.
Bye.
At the same time as AI becomes more common, schools face new challenges. Teachers often struggle to tell whether students used AI or wrote something themselves. Since AI is widespread and hard to ban, many schools are adapting by designing new types of assignments. For example, they may require in-class writing, oral presentations, or creative projects that are harder to complete with AI alone. While some experts warn against AI in education, others see opportunities. They argue that because AI is here to stay, schools should teach students how to use it responsibly. For instance, students might use AI to gather ideas or find research materials, but then rely on their own skills to finish the work. This way, they practice critical thinking and being creative while still learning how to work with AI. More schools are now creating rules about when and how AI can be used. The challenge is finding the right balance, helping students learn essential skills while also preparing them for a future with AI. So, what do you think? Should schools allow AI in the classroom, or does it cause more harm than good? If you are a student, how do you use AI in your learning?
最后我们来复习今天课文里的单字文法。单字的部分有 adapt 动词表示适应调试， presentation 名词表示报告陈述， warn 动词表示警告告诫， research 在这边当名词表示研究调查， critical 是形容批判性的或是形容艺术、文学、电影等等评论性的。文法的部分，第一个学到 whether or 表示是什么或是什么，它可以连接名词子句来引出不同的选项或可能性。第二个学到 here to stay 是指普遍为人所接受、广泛流行。第三个学到 cause more harm than good 是表达弊多于利。好，那以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
A fault line is a crack in the Earth's surface where two pieces of land can move past each other. When they move suddenly, it can sometimes cause an earthquake. Let's visit the Chelungpu Fault Gallery to find out more about earthquakes. The Chelungpu Fault Gallery was the first to open in the 921 Earthquake Museum of Taiwan. The gallery allows visitors to look at the fault and learn about earthquakes. The design of the Chelungpu Fault Gallery is special. Not a single beam is used in the gallery. The Chelungpu Fault Gallery shows models of tectonic plates around the globe, earthquake belts, and the structure of the Earth. The gallery also has 6 themed interactive displays. Visitors can learn about the causes of earthquakes, the different types of earthquakes, and the various modes of seismic dislocation. The gallery also has an acceleratograph, which shows the speed of the Earth shaking. Visitors can create fake earthquakes here to understand how an earthquake's energy works. Other displays in the gallery include the sports field, the track, and a section of the Chelungpu Fault. Did you know that Taiwan experiences earthquakes more frequently than most people think? With about 100 small earthquakes recorded daily on average. We just don't always feel them. With earthquakes being so common in our lives, we might as well learn more about them.